Welcome back to the channel. My people, something dangerous is happening behind the scenes. There is a secret political agreement brewing between Yoruba leaders and Fulani power brokers. And their mission is one: to finish Igbo politics before 2027. Think about it. Since Peter Obi shocked the political system in 2023, the Nigeria elites have been restless. They saw something they never expected: a united Igbo movement that gained national sympathy. That scared them, because if it can happen once, it can happen again and stronger. Now, Yoruba elites who control the presidency through Tinubu and the Fulani Northern cabals who control it under Buhari are quietly cutting a deal to block the Igbo man permanently from ever entering Aso Rock. This is not small gossip. Look at the signals. Mandela's market clashes in Lagos, demolitions of Igbo businesses, sudden media campaigns against Peter Obi, and silent talk of zoning power only between Yoruba and North. Stay with me until the end, because when I break down this story into 10 parts, you will see clearly how the game is rigged and why Igbo politics is under direct attack. This is not just about politics, it is about the survival of Igbo voices in Nigeria. If you are Igbo, you must understand this plot, because it will affect your children's future. If you are Biafran, it proves why the struggle for freedom is the only way forward. And if you are Nigeria, you need to know how you so-called leaders are playing chess with your destiny. By the time you watch to the end, you will understand why Yoruba and Fulani leaders pretend to be enemies but unite against Igbo ambitions. Why the Southeast keep getting sidelined despite promises of inclusion. And most importantly, what the only way forward is for the Igbo nation. So don't go anywhere. Listen closely as we break this down. The secret meetings begin right now in Lagos and Abuja. Politicians are not sleeping. Plans for 2027 are already being made. Yoruba leaders in the ruling party are sitting with Fulani power brokers from the north. Their discussion: how do we make sure no Igbo man comes close to the presidency? They remember how Peter Obi shocked everyone in 2023 with little money, no strong party structure, and even media bias. He still managed to win millions of votes across Nigeria. That was not supposed to happen. And for the Northerner and Yoruba elite, that was a danger signal. So, what are they doing? Yoruba leaders say Tinubu must complete his tenure. Fulani leaders reply after Tinubu, power must return to the north. Both camps agreed silently. No place for the Igbo. These talks are happening quietly, but the signals are already open. The demolition of Igbo shop in Lagos, the sudden rise of Yoruba propaganda against Peter Obi, and the silence of Northern elders when Igbo businesses are attacked. These are not accidents. They are part of the calculation. Why the Igbo are seen as a threat? Why are they so desperate to stop the Igbo? It is because the Igbo spirit cannot be controlled. The Igbo are everywhere, in business, in education, in innovation, in politics. Even though the Igbo are not the largest ethnic group, their influence is so strong that Nigeria cannot function without them. That is why the elite fear Igbo politics. Peter Obi's performance in 2023 exposed the truth for the first time. The Igbo vote mobilized beyond the southeast and captured us in the southwest, north central, and even among some northerners. This scared the ruling cabals. They know that if the Igbo get just one more chance, they could break the monopoly of Yoruba and Fulani politics. To them, an Igbo president means economic reforms that will weaken their control, justice that may expose their corruption, and the rise of a strong Igbo identity that could lead to Biafra independence. That is why the Igbo must be painted as rebels or troublemakers who don't deserve power. It is a fear-driving strategy, not just politics. Divide and rule politics. One of the oldest tricks in Nigeria is divide and rule. And sadly, it works best on the Igbo. The Yoruba and Fulani elites know that if the Igbo unite politically, they will be unstoppable. So what do? They sponsor division among Igbo leaders. You will see some Southeast governors suddenly defending Tinubu, not because they love him, but because they are promised contracts and appointments. You will see others secretly align with Northern cabals for survival. And before you know it, Igbo unity collapse. This is not new. It happened during the First Republic. It happened after the Civil War, and it is happening now. Instead of speaking with one voice, Igbo politicians are scattered, some with APC, some with PDP, some with Labour Party, and some with nobody. And that is exactly how Yoruba and Fulani want it. Because a divided Igbo political house means no serious presidential challenge in 2027. Media blackout against the Igbo. Look at the media space in Nigeria. Who controls it? Mostly Yoruba and Northern interest. And that is why anytime an Igbo leaders rise, the media narrative changes. Take a Peter Obi as an example. During the 2023 campaigns, he was constantly called names, clawless, tribalist, social media present. The media downplay his rallies, ignore his success, and exaggerated his mistakes. It is the same playbook used against Nnamdi Kanu. Instead of discussing his message, they paint him as a terrorist. Why? Because the goal is to discredit Igbo voice before the people start to believe in them. Heading into 2027, this strategy will get worse. Expect more negative news about Igbo leaders and more propaganda videos and more attempts to silence Igbo voice on TV, radio, and newspapers. They know media is power and they will use it to crush Igbo ambition. Economic strangulation. Politics in Nigeria is not just about votes, it is about money. And here is where they targeted the Igbo most. The Igbo dominate trade and businesses, especially in Lagos and across Nigeria. That is why in recent years, we have seen Igbo markets attack, demolish, or burn. From Ladipo to Mandela's market, every crisis seems to affect Igbo traders most. Why? Because when you weaken a man's pocket, you weaken his politics. If Igbo businesses lost their shop and businesses, they cannot fund campaigns, they cannot mobilize votes, and they cannot rise politically. This is not coincidence. It is strategy. Yoruba leaders quietly allow Igbo shops to be destroyed in Lagos, while Northern policies keep strangling trade in the east through bad roads, checkpoints, and insecurity. The goal is simple: starve the Igbo politically by starving them economically. Using religion as a weapon. Religion is one of the deadliest tools in Nigeria politics, and Yoruba Fulani allies know how to use it well. The Fulani North will always mobilize Muslim votes in millions, using mosques and imams to dictate elections. The Yoruba Southwest, even though Christian-dominated, has strong pastors and churches that can mobilize votes for their candidates. But where does that leave the Igbo? Trapped in the middle. The Southeast is Christian, yes, but they don't have the same national religious influence as the Yoruba. The North and West can use religion to shut out Igbo voices. That is why in 2023, even when Obi had the most logical message, many voters were told in mosques and churches, don't vote for him. Heading into 2027, expect religion to be used again as a weapon to block Igbo chances. The fake promises of restructuring. For over 20 years, Nigerian politicians have used restructuring as a carrot to to deceive the Igbo. Each election, they say, vote for us and we will restructure Nigeria. But after elections, they forgot. Why? Because true restructuring will give the Igbo more control of their economy, their land, and their politics. And that is what the Fulani and Yoruba elites fear most. Now, as 2027 approach, you will hear the same sweet promises again. They will say, support us, and we will give Southeast more states. We will fix your road. We will restructure. Don't be deceived. These are empty promises designed to calm Igbo anger until power returns to the same people. The truth is, restructuring will never happen under the current system because it benefits only the ruling cabal. 2027 zoning game. One of the biggest lies in Nigeria politics is zoning. They say power will rotate, but when it gets to Igbo turn, the rules change. In 2027, Yoruba will say, Tinubu just started, let him finish 8 years. Fulani will say, after Tinubu, power must come back to the north. So where is Igbo turn? Nowhere. The system is designed to exclude the Igbo permanently. That is why since 1999, Yoruba are full for 16 years, Fulani for 10 years, and Igbo for 0 years. Is 0 years. Yet they will keep saying it is not yet your turn. The 2027 zoning game is already being arranged. The plan is simple: keep rotating power between north and west and leave the Igbo begging. Why Igbo governors can be trusted? One of the greatest problems of the Igbo nation is betrayal from within. Many Southeast governors are already part of the Yoruba Fulani plot. Some of them are openly defending Tinubu because of political appointments. Others are secretly aligned with northern politicians to secure their personal future. When Igbo people are attacked in Lagos, these governors keep quiet. When markets are demolished, they look away. Why? Because they don't want to offend their political masters in Abuja. This betrayal is dangerous because instead of fighting for Igbo survival, they sell their people for contrast and favor. Heading into 2027, these same governors will be used as a weapons to scatter Igbo votes. They will discourage unity, promote fake alliances, and betray the people at the last minute. The only way forward, my people, the handwriting is clear. The Yoruba Fulani alliance has one mission: keep the Igbo permanently outside Asoro. This is not new. Since independence, the Igbo have been sidelined. After the war, they were pushed away from power. Now, in 2027, they want to close the door permanently. So, what is the solution? Igbo must understand that Nigeria was never designed for them unless the Igbo unite and take their destiny in their own hand. 2027 will be another disappointment. The only way forward is Igbo unity and Biafra self-determination, because as long as the game is played under Nigerian rules, the Igbo will never be allowed to win. Weaponizing insecurity in the Southeast. Have you noticed how insecurity in the Southeast keeps getting worse? Unknown gunmen, sit-at-home orders, kidnappings, and constant clashes with security forces. Do you think it is just ordinary crime? No. It is a strategy. Yoruba and Fulani political allies understand that no region with constant insecurity can produce a strong presidential candidate. By keeping the East unstable, they weaken Igbo participation in national politics. During elections, insecurity prevents voter turnout. It discourages investors. It makes the region look unsafe to outsiders. Meanwhile, the same leaders who fuel insecurity in the Southeast are quick to point fingers at the Igbo, calling them violent or disorganized. They create the problem and then use it as propaganda against the Igbo. This insecurity is not just about violence. It is a political weapon. A weak and unstable Southeast means Igbo candidates will always be dismissed as incapable of controlling their own house. That is exactly the narrative Yoruba and Fulani want to push before 2027. Now the picture is complete. From secret meetings in Abuja and Lagos to divide and rule tricks, media blackout economy, strangulation, weaponized insecurity, and even international silence, everything is designed to silence the Igbo politically by 2027. My people, the Yoruba and Fulani cabals are united by one agenda. Igbo must never taste power. But history teach us one truth. When the people are pushed to the wall, they rise. If you believe the truth must be told, like this video, share it, and drop your comments. Don't forget to subscribe, because we will keep exposing the plans they don't want you to hear. Hashtag justice for Nnamdi Kanu. Hashtag free Nnamdi Kanu now. Hashtag Biafra freedom.